I want you to think about what you do in the first 5 minutes of waking. Not what you intend to do. We all have the best intentions, right? But what you actually do. The scroll, the dread, the mental rigmarole that you actually don't even know what you're doing. And I really do not want to shame you because I do it myself. But here's what's actually happening in your body and why it is so crucial for, particularly for women in the first 60 minutes of our days. It sets our bodies up for the rest of the day. So your body has a built-in CAR system. It's called the Cortisol Awakening Response. And it is the most researched hormone of our whole physiology. And in those 30 to 45 minutes of waking is when our cortisol rises. And what happens when we don't use cortisol, we store cortisol. So the rise in cortisol is a normal human physiological functioning. It's how we start the day. So cortisol isn't the bad guy, but it's about how we utilize that cortisol. So today, I'm walking you through that 90-minute morning window, what's happening in your body, why it's particularly significant for women in their mid-30s and beyond, and the 5 things you can do tomorrow to influence your whole day, because the way that we spend our mornings, that way that we spend the first 90 minutes in our days is how our hormones behave for the rest of the day, and all of that is in a free downloadable guide that you'll find at the end of the show. Welcome back. I'm Natalie Smythe, your host and nutritionist naturopath, and I'm here with Fembed, who is democratizing women's health in an incredible online platform, ensuring that your habits stick. So let's take it away for today. So let's talk about the CAR, the Cortisol Awakening Response. Hypothalamic Pituitary Adrenal Axis, the HPA, we've spoken about this in our previous episodes, is your body's central stress and rhythm regulation system. So every morning as you move from sleep into waking, HPA fires, your cortisol rises. Now for women specifically, the CAR is more sensitive to our hormonal system because estrogen and progesterone directly influence how the HPA axis responds. And as we move into our 30s and perimenopause, estrogen and progesterone becomes a little bit more vulnerable, and with the depletion, that's when we can experience a little bit more anxiety, etc. So some women who are not actually getting that cortisol wake up a bit foggy, a bit flat, needing multiple coffees to feel human. And on the other spectrum, if you have too much cortisol, that's when you feel more anxiety or heart racing on waking, a bit of sense of dread before anything, because that's why our HPA axis is influencing our estrogen and progesterone. So strategies focusing on circadian alignment, such as waking up at the same time every day, seeing the sunrise before you wake, nutritional support, hydration are widely recommended by endocrinologists and functional medicine practitioners to really recalibrate this HPA axis, which we are going to go into now. So what is this ideal 90-minute routine look like? I've broken down the 5 steps in the guide, but let me walk you through each one. So in the first 5 minutes of waking, you need to orient yourself with the sun, right? Before your phone, before your coffee, I need you to, the first rule actually is do not look at your phone. If you need to look at the time, if you need to check maybe a message, go back to it in 10 minutes. But before you fully opened your eyes, go to natural light. Step outside if you can, even for 2 minutes. And the reason behind this is because the pathway from your eyes to your hypothalamus, and our hypothalamus guides our hormones, right? Sends light signals to your brain, your body's circadian clock. And the clock governs your cortisol rhythm, your melatonin timing in the evening, and then this estrogen progesterone cycling. So light really is your anchor. Alongside that, have a cup of warm water, ideally hot water. Sprinkle a 1/4 of a teaspoon of dried ginger in there. That activates your digestion. It clears any of the metabolic waste that you've been sleeping on in the evening. Otherwise, you can have warm water and lemon as well. Otherwise, just a pinch of Himalayan salt or sea salt will do. Number 2, a warm oil massage. Now, I know this seems so indulgent, but trust me, it's not indulgent. This is the best tip that has truly changed my life. I've started doing it religiously since last year after my Ayurvedic cleanse, and I will not miss a day without it now. For one, my skin feels like a baby. Number 2, it's self-massage. So it impacts your autonomic nervous system, which helps down-regulate your nervous system. So the pressure of the warm oil when you're massaging on the skin, it stimulates the pressure receptors and enhances enhances vagal tone and reduces cortisol output. For particularly someone that is experiencing anxiety or has a stressful day, just that grounded nourishment on your skin. Your skin also is the largest organ and it has the skin microbiome. So putting the oil on your skin before you have a shower, leaving it on for 15 to 20 minutes protects your skin from, if you do live in a city, there's lime scale, the water is harsher too. The pH is different to your skin, so you don't really want to be getting that onto your skin. The oil is a protection barrier. And number 3, the oil that you use is organic sesame oil, which is rich in vitamin E, which supports estrogen and progesterone. If you are going through perimenopause or menopause, this is like your natural HRT. Trust me on this. I've written the full guide, which oil to use, and the massage techniques in the download as well. Now, number 3, breath work. I know when I say oil massage and when I say breath work, people just roll their eyes and say, Natalie, give me the pill. You cannot take a pill or another supplement that has targeted to you if you're not able to breathe properly, if you're not able to absorb nutrients, if your digestion is not fired, if you're not grounded, if you're in a fight or flight state, there's no way you can absorb any supplements. So I need you to do the oil massage and I need you to do the breath work. We don't breathe or know how to breathe anymore. We do not breathe into our bellies. We do not breathe into our diaphragms. We do not oxygenize ourselves. We're constantly on our computers and we're constantly in our phone. And what are those movements? We've turned into these shallow breathers. That's why our jaw and our face and the structure of our being, our eyes, we have lost this vitality purely from not breathing properly. You just need to spend 1 minute doing alternative nostril breathing. It's called Nada Shodhana. It balances your left and right hemispheres of your brain. Now in modern society, we're not connecting both hemispheres. We're not doing this crisscross action, which prevents depression, which prevents anxiety, which prevents stagnation. So it has immeasurable effects on your heart rate variability, which is one of the best biomarkers for nervous system resilience. So what we do is we inhale through our left nostril, close the left nostril, exhale through our right, open the right, inhale left, close right, exhale left, inhale left, close left nostril, exhale right. And just do 12 rounds of those. And just from doing that, I feel I'm more grounded and opening my eyes. It's an energy shot, that's for sure. Then after that, we can do a bit of movement, whatever your form of exercise is, but please move. You can have your coffee, but please add protein to it, add some collagen powder to it, and of course, don't forget your carbs. Women need more nourishment, particularly when we're cycling. The thing is, particularly if we're moving, we need to nourish ourselves. We need that flexibility. We need that nutrients. We need that nutrition for our brains. So please have your breakfast, have some food before you leave the house in those 90 minutes of waking. Protein first, then fat and fiber. This is the meal that determines your blood sugar glucose and therefore your cortisol insulin relationship for the rest of the day. If you just have carbohydrates, a pastry, a coffee, just a banana, just an apple, you're going to be having these dips through the rest of the day. So I love what the glucose goddess says. She says, dress your carbohydrates. So dress them in some type of protein, whether you're having banana and some almonds or some fruit and some nuts, or you're having some eggs. Plan your day, plan your week by boiling 6 eggs, keeping them in the fridge, having 2 eggs, have some good, delicious salt and pepper, have some spinach on the side, and that will really keep you going. Because if we have those cortisol rise, then what happens is cortisol is stored on the belly. So by skipping your breakfast isn't doing you any favors. It's so crucial because as women in our later 30s, we become a little bit more sensitized to those cortisol dips. And if we don't use cortisol, we store cortisol and usually on our belly. I've included some great breakfast tips in the guide below as well. So what I find most compelling about this protocol is like nothing is new. It's the stuff that we know. The more we try to optimize or hack ourselves away from ourselves, it becomes more rigid. So create a routine, create ritual in what you can do. And I know we're so busy. We have so many busy lives. We're managing our families. We're managing something or someone. We have so many stressful outputs. But your morning sets you up for the whole day. Our morning is our peace. If we remember the tenderness of our lives, to have this lived experience, we cherish ourselves. We look after ourselves better because otherwise the weeks just happen. The days just slip away from ourselves. Every day is an opportunity to live our best life, and we can do it by the way we treat ourselves, the way we build ourselves, and the habits that compound for ourselves and our lives. And then that creates a ripple effect that everybody sees. So if you liked this episode, please share, like, and comment. It means so much. We are building up a whole global audience, supporting women to support their daily rhythms because we are not linear. And when we start connecting with ourselves and our communities and realizing that we are in nature, aligned with nature, we will see the most beneficial, rewarding results that we never knew possible. I'm your host, Natalie Smythe of Her Daily Rhythm. I can't wait to see you next week. Next week, we have an incredible guest that I can't wait for you to see.